So we talk about a lot of things on this channel. We do deck profiles, we do meta-analysis, we do all the competitive stuff, all the usual Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that you guys love. But there's one thing we haven't done on this channel, and it's talking about the essential things every Yu-Gi-Oh player needs. Now what I'm talking about is the stuff you need to bring with you to locals, to regionals, to YCS, to nationals, to worlds if you're fortunate enough to go. All the Yu-Gi-Oh essentials that I think every Yu-Gi-Oh player should have. They're items that you carry with you, kind of like an everyday carry, all that stuff. And for those of you that are super hardcore into it and play Yu-Gi-Oh every day, I wish that was me. I wish I could play Yu-Gi-Oh every day. One day I will. This is a video for you. This is something new that I haven't done before, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. The main thing we're going to be talking about is, of course, your like everyday carry that you want to bring when you go to locals or any of these events. I want to give a huge shout out to Gem Playmats for providing the backpack and a lot of the things we're going to talk about today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you did. Again, this is a different type of video that we haven't done on the channel before, but I hope you guys really enjoy it. And I think a lot of you new players, returning players, and players even in the game right now are going to learn a lot from this. So let's hop right into it. So what I'm bringing to you guys today is, again, all the accessories, all the main things that every Yu-Gi-Oh player should have and bring to pretty much every level of event, if it be locals, regionals, YCS, nationals, etc. And we're starting with, of course, your backpack. And I am talking about Gem Playmats Protect backpack. Those of you who are probably very familiar with this backpack, several channels have talked about it, and I actually wanted to finally give my opinion on it. I am actually a huge fan of this backpack. I've been using it for a couple weeks, and I can tell you right now, it's definitely one of the best backpacks that I could have had for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm going to give you guys the reasons why. There are some things on it that I would change, but actually there's not that much. I'll talk about the things I really like. So for those of you that are familiar with these, and I know a lot of you are, one of their main selling points is that this is an anti-theft lock. You have this main compartment here, and you can't get into it. Like, you can't actually open it. How many times have you had someone behind you, like, you know, even if it's your friend messing around with you, like opening the zippers on your backpack? Like, it really gets annoying. You know, a lot of people walk with their backpacks in front to avoid this, and you know, it can be annoying too, because you know, you want to go to events, you don't want your stuff stolen. And what's really cool about this is that you set a code on here, and once you set your code, I'm not going to show you guys my code, but I'll show you what happens when you do actually open it. When you do set the code, you can actually spring them loose, and then you can open your backpack. And that's what I really like about this. This is an anti-theft thing. Now when it comes to space in this backpack, it's amazing. You guys can see I have a full-size binder in here, which is great. They have a binder pocket. You could also put a laptop in there, which comes in handy when you're a content creator like I am, and you bring your laptop with you usually on day 2 to not only offload videos, but try to upload videos early for you guys. There's also another slot here, brings you guys a playmat. Now, these are two things you guys should already know that you need. You need a playmat and you need a binder. Now, I don't think a binder is essential for every player. For those of you that don't know, I'm not really huge on trading, but you can always bring a binder. One thing I like about binders is they can hold deck cores, they can hold stuff like that. That's really important, and it's awesome. And then a playmat, of course. You don't want to be playing on like just the table. Like, your cards are going to get dirty, your sleeves are going to get dirty, and it's just not necessary, and you can always just get a mat. You guys can tell even in my recording setup, I have mats everywhere because I just love them. They're like giant mouse pads. You can use a really nice mat like this if you like a cloth mat, but as long as you have a mat, your cards stay protected, so that's super important. If you look at the rest of this backpack, there's a lot of other things that we can you know, talk about. So we open this next compartment, and we have, of course, a calculator case. Now this is open to debate. The reason I say that is because not a lot of players, for as many players as want a calculator case, there are a lot that don't. A lot feel it's not necessary, but what I really like about a calculator case is if you are using a scientific calculator, these are really cool. This is, of course, Gem Playmat's new Caltech calculator case. I'll open it for you guys just to see. I have it actually all set up and all decked out in the things that I do with my calculator case. For those of you that know me, I did have a calculator case before, so you guys should be familiar with like setups and calculator cases. But yeah, so basically what's cool about these is you can hold, as you guys can see, all your dice. And they do shuffle around a little bit, but that's no big deal. So you can hold, you know, your dice for, you know, keeping track of stuff, your calculator, of course. And then I have a slew of pens, I have Sharpies, and then of course I have up here I have my player ID, and then I have just a bunch of random Pokemon stuff. You guys can put here whatever you want. Just make sure you don't play cards. You don't put actual Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are legal in the game right now. That is actually against the rules. They changed that a couple years ago. You used to be able to put whatever you want. Like, you could get OCG
versions of your favorite cards. For me, I just put just a bunch of just like random Pokemon stuff. Lugia, Typhlosion, Mew for Alligator, and of course my giant Krabby. Those of you that have seen this over the years when you played me or seen me at events, yeah, I still have my Krabby because I love it. But what I really like about this is just nice if you want to keep your calculator, you know, on hand, and you want to keep it with dice and have all your essentials here. One of the main things you need in these events is, of course, a calculator to keep track of life, dice to keep track of things, and also to, you know, decide who goes first. And of course, you need pens for writing down your life points as well. That's super important. It's another thing we'll talk about when we go through the rest of the stuff. But I feel that every player, even at locals, you know, you want to have a calculator. It's just a good habit of keeping track of your own life, because you don't want to play against someone that says, oh, I'll keep track of life, and then they just kind of screw you out of a win. It has happened. I hate to say it, but it is something that can happen at certain events. But on to more of the backpack. What I really like about it is the way this setup is. If you guys can see, it's almost like a shelf. The content, it actually is like a shelf, and inside, I'll talk about this, but in here you have like a shelf to actually put stuff, and that's where I put my calculator. And also this is just a utility box. So I call it a utility box because it has just utility cards in it. It's just side deck stuff and stuff like that. I'm actually thinking of making a video about why I carry a utility box with me everywhere. If you guys want to hear about that, you know, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I really like that for the space and whatnot. And then of course, back onto the front, you have, you know, you have more zippers and other stuff like that. You can slip stuff in here. There's a side pocket right here if you want to put, like, you know, like, I don't know, like an extra mat or something like that. And then you have a front pocket here for more stuff. And in there I put a notepad. So the one thing I was going to talk to you guys, so while you do keep track with your calculator, they're always going to take paper life points over calculations, especially at the regional, YCS, and nationals level. So make sure you guys have a notepad as well. It could be anything, you know, it could be one of those simple notebooks from the dollar store, but just make sure you keep track of your life points because it's really important. Other things I really like. So you guys have been wondering this whole time, okay, Slim, where's your deck? This is what blew me away. I didn't realize that the deck compartment is actually on the side. That's right. And I was thinking, really, how do you do that? And this actually is just really cool. So you guys can see in here, and this is what's nuts, is actually how this pans out, is that you have basically like a sliding out tray that can hold your deck boxes. And don't pay attention, my deck box has been through hell and back, but you guys already know that. I actually put 2 deck boxes in here. I put my like main deck and just other decks I work on. And what I really like about this is you can hold more decks than this. I'm using a double deck box. For those of you that use the smaller deck boxes, you can hold multiple decks in here. Like you can just put them sideways and just hold multiple ones, and it's amazing. I really, really like this because this is just not what I was expecting. I did not expect that this is where I'd be holding my decks, and I really like it. I really like how they're also cushioned. None of this stuff really gets shuffled around when you're moving around, because I'm sure you guys know about that when you're going to events, sometimes your cards pop up out of their sleeves, and it is really annoying. But what I like about this is that this just keeps everything secure, and it's really awesome. Like I said, you can manipulate it however you want to put as many deck boxes as possible, and these things are removable so that you can just, you know, you can take these out if you need to, and you can just put even more deck boxes, so it's great. And yeah, so that's just a really great feature about this backpack I really like. And then the last like couple things about it, it's just simple stuff like this. It does have, you know, breathable mesh, which is nice because, you know, you do get warm in the events. It does have a sternum and waist strap. This is good for people who don't know. A lot of people don't actually know this. So what these are for is to distribute the weight evenly. Like sometimes you can be carrying too much stuff and it's not good for your back, so you just put on the sternum strap, put on the waist strap, and you're good to go. And of course it has a water bottle pocket because you need water at events. That's another thing that you guys should remember. I don't have water in here right now, but yeah, I'd always be carrying a water bottle because you want to stay hydrated when you're playing at these events. Like I said, at any level, you're going to be there for several hours, so it's important to have. And then this last thing, which is the thing I was a little hesitant on, is I wasn't really sure what this was for, but then I found out. So this is if you want to hold a mat, and I'm talking about one of those rolled up mats, like in a tube or even by itself. I'm not super crazy about this because I usually do use a cloth mat, but for those of you that do use that type of mat, this is pretty cool because then you have your mat accessible right here, and it's locked in, which is nice. So it's pretty essential for like any player, depending on, you know, the stuff you play. But of course, there's always, you know, going to be things that you need at every event. Now you guys are wondering, why on earth, you know, do you need all this stuff for every level of competitive play? I personally feel that stuff like this is just important. You want your stuff to be protected. You want your stuff to, you want your stuff to last, and that's my whole thing when it comes to quality materials, and this is what I really like about this backpack. This backpack really blew me away. They're actually released an even bigger one. You guys can check out, I'll have it in the link below, the website and their Instagram. They have an even bigger one for those of you that are like vendors and stuff like that, or that carry a lot of stuff. Like, it's actually insane. This is just the regular size version, but it's amazing, and it does so much, I think, for the community, because those of you that want to have an anti-theft backpack, you want to have a backpack that can carry all your Yu-Gi-Oh stuff to wherever event you go to, it's great. It's absolutely great. And the other thing I'll talk about, that other backpack that they do have, is it actually works to slide on the back of your suitcase for those of you that travel a lot, so it's crazy. But yeah, that's my review on that.
And that's pretty much it, you guys. Those are the essentials that I feel every Yu-Gi-Oh duelist should have, going to, just the minimum level of events to, the top level of events. And I think it's just really important that you guys know about good quality material that's out there for you guys. I don't want people like using inferior stuff, having bags stolen, having stuff taken out of their bags, due to stuff like that. And I think it's great that companies like Gem and other companies actually do provide stuff like this. Like I said, there are some things I wasn't crazy about the backpack for, but for the most part, I think it's amazing. I think a lot of this stuff is great. And like I said, it's not all essential if you guys don't want to get it, but it does give you the option, to have your stuff protected. And I think that's what's really important at the end of the day. I've had so many horror stories of people just losing their stuff. I'll never forget, at a regional, I played against one person, and after the match, he literally goes to reach for his backpack and it's gone. It's literally gone, and he could not find it. It had an iPad in it and so many other things, and I just felt so bad. Like, how on earth did that happen? And crazy stuff like that happens in the game, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. But I think that if you guys keep certain things like this on your person at all times, you have, like I said, a secure backpack, you have good things. If you do get a calculator case, you have your mat, you have your utility box, you have all these essential things, you're gonna have a great experience in the game. You're going to be prepared for all types of things, whether it be at the local level. You never know, like, when you might go to regionals or a YCS or a nationals, but you will always be prepared. You will always have all the stuff you need, and I think that that's the main thing at the end of the day, is just always be prepared as a player and just always have all the stuff that you need. I hope this video was informative. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Again, I know it's not anything about the meta or stuff like that, but I think it's just something that every player should know about. It's something that every player should try to not really, in a sense, kind of invest in, to make sure that your stuff is protected, because let's face it, these cards are expensive, and they're what we do. They're what we do, you guys, and no one wants to lose their cards. Everyone wants to keep their stuff in mint condition. I think that's the best thing possible. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.